really want to be next door neighbors with them.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
I would be great being neighbors with Janelle or Mary or even Christine, to be honest. I still have hopes for Mary and Cody, and definitely with Janelle and Cody.
Because all the family money helped buy the house that Robyn's in, and they have an extra lot there, so I feel like that's kind of fair. I will always pretty much want what's fair. And I feel like Mary has been treated very badly by Cody for years. And I just want to make sure that that doesn't carry forward into this property division.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, September 23rd, 2024. If you're wondering if Janelle Brown noticed the art on the walls of Cody's house and all of the assets that he and Robyn were acquiring, the answer would be yes. And last night, Janelle dropped some tea about the finances that I think a lot of Sister Wives fans had noticed over the years, but many of the wives had never spoken about. There's been a lot of discussion about the money that Cody and Robyn have used from the family and how they have not been fair in their division of assets, as well as the equitable division of how Cody treated the wives in terms of which wives got stuff, which wives had help from Cody, which wives paid their bills on their own, which wives had help from Cody to pay the bills. And it honestly sounds like Cody and Robyn were doing their own thing financially for years. The other wives were having to pay for their own lives individually. And then Cody and Robyn were dipping into the income of the other wives to fund their lifestyle. Robyn was taken to task about this. And if Janelle and Robyn would have been in the same room, they would have been fighting. There would have been an argument here because it was obvious that Robyn was lying. It was obvious that Robyn was covering for Cody. It was obvious that Robyn was covering for herself. It was obvious that in the room of liars, Cody and Robyn continued to lie, and Janelle and the others were the only ones being honest. It was clear after this episode that a lot of our suspicions about how they were spending their money and the fights about this were a huge problem in the family. So much so that this inequitable division of assets and the inequitable distribution of Cody's time and resources was a huge issue for the adult children, to the extent that many of them were done with Cody and Robyn because of it. So this was a discussion because Janelle and Maddie were discussing the possibility of purchasing property in Montana. They went to go look at the property, and while driving, Janelle was talking to her daughter Maddie about what they could possibly do about Coyote Pass and what they could do with the assets from the marriage, because until the asset division occurred, Janelle is still tied to Cody. And to this day, Janelle remains tied to Cody at Coyote Pass. So this was before everything got paid off. Today, we know that it was paid off, but the property has still not been divided. I want to be clear. Like, Janelle is still on the property. Robyn is still on the property. Mary is still on the property. So Janelle, for the very first time, acknowledges that she has seen what Cody and Robyn have done with the money that they have spent. The money that the family gave to Robyn and Cody to buy their house was a huge discussion, because Janelle said that she gave money, so much money, to Cody and Robyn that she wanted to be on the mortgage with them. And I want to be clear, they did this in the past. Janelle was on a mortgage with Mary and Cody in Lehigh. They were all joint owners of that home. Christine was not, but Janelle was, because they used Janelle's income. And again, with the home in Arizona, in Flagstaff, the one that they're currently selling for $1.65 million, they used Janelle's money. And Robyn has a completely different explanation, but if Janelle's not on the title, her explanation falls flat.
The whole plan at that point was for that home, my home, to be kind of an asset for the family. eventually when I built out on the property. It was never supposed to end up being something that was just mine.
When I put the money into the house, I said, well, I think it would be fair if all of our names were on the mortgage. He's like, no, we need to protect Robyn's estate. She needs to have it so it's hers, and so it's ours.
What I've recognized in all of this is that Robyn came into this family as a monogamist and she left her ex-husband with a ton of debt, a ton of debt. And the family, Janelle and the rest of the wives, paid that debt off for her, by the way. She didn't pay that debt off. And the show paid that debt off, not Robyn. And to buy the house that Kody wanted Robyn to have, because by the way, it's not Robyn's house, it's Kody and Robyn's house. They are legally married. The problem with this system is that when one wife is a legal wife, they are then a co-owner of everything that husband has. And so if Robyn buys a house, so does Kody. It's Kody and Robyn's house. They do not have to be fair if they don't want to be fair. And when Mary was involved with the finances, as much as the family had problems with the income and with the bankruptcies and with all of the fighting, at least Mary was fair about the division of assets and wasn't expecting more. I mean, I guess some of the kids fight and get angry because Mary had large homes and she took out resources from others and didn't have as many kids. There's always going to be fights about money, but the legal wife always has more rights than everyone else. And Janelle, for as smart as she claims to be, gave money to them when everything was falling apart in 2020 and 2019. And then now that she's leaving, wants that money back. And Robyn is saying, no, my house was never supposed to be my house. It was going to be everyone else's house, but it's not, because nobody else's name is on that mortgage. No one else's name is on the title. And if there's not a legal document stating that this home is a family asset, those women, Janelle and Mary, have no legal claim on any of the equity of that house and on any of the equity of the property that Kody and Robyn own at Coyote Pass that their names aren't on the title. Therefore, Kody and Robyn walk out with the lion's share of money. And Robyn wanted to make sure that she had the money. She never considered the whole family. The family had always worked together, and Robyn came in and they stopped working together, which is to me sort of a sign that Kody stopped wanting to work together.
So with me leaving or trying to go somewhere and do something different, I want my value of the property. And I'd like to recoup some of the money I put into Robyn's house.
I mean, it's like we were working together for so long, and we didn't actually stop working together until, just recently when Janelle's bringing up, that Kody and I owe her something. It's like, how do you calculate? How do you figure that out? It's so confusing.
Janelle wants her money back, and Robyn is saying that they always worked together, and how would Janelle even know how much money she's owed, which is insanity. It makes zero sense. And it's just, I think, a way for Robyn to have to make it seem like that somehow Robyn and Kody gave Janelle money, which is a complete lie. It's an absolute lie. Here's why. When they bought their houses in Las Vegas, every single one of the women had to pay and come up with the down payments on their own for their homes. Every one of the women had to qualify independent of Kody, other than Mary, who bought her house with Kody. And every woman had to make their own mortgage payment in Las Vegas. Janelle, Christine, and Robyn all owned their homes independent of the family in Las Vegas. When they sold those houses, did not have any obligation to the family to pay that money to Kody. They didn't, because Kody was not on Janelle's title. Kody was not on Janelle's mortgage, and Kody was not paying those bills for Janelle when they lived in Las Vegas. Kody went on to Robyn's property once they got legally married, and he remained on Mary's property after the divorce, but he was never on the property with Christine and Janelle, which I think is why he wanted to get them out of Las Vegas, because he wanted to get them unstable and having no assets so that he could get access to that money, because I'm pretty confident he knew that they were going to leave. And so what did he do? They sell those houses, and somehow he convinces them to give that equity to him. Christine was the smart one because Christine made the decision to purchase a home, and she was able to borrow from the family from that pot of money for the down payment of her house in Flagstaff. Kody was initially on the mortgage with her, but he was removed, and he removed himself from that mortgage because Robyn got mad that his attachment to her was making it hard for her to qualify for a house. So Kody then gave the house to Christine, took his name off the title, took his name off the mortgage. Christine refinanced. Christine's equity from Vegas paid them back for the down payment. And then once Christine left, she took the equity of her house and sold her home, and she quitclaim deeded the property at Coyote Pass, and it was an even distribution of assets. With Janelle, there's no argument that they have done nothing for her since Flagstaff. Never given her money to purchase a home. They've refused to pay off the property at Coyote Pass. And Janelle had no place to live. When Janelle bought the RV, she used her own money and took out a loan. Cody and Robyn did not help with that even. So they don't owe, Janelle owes them nothing. They owe Janelle and Mary a ton. And it's ridiculous. And Robyn's going to go further into her delusions about this.
Your dad's
How
typical.
does he
Your
not have
dad's
the money to
typical.
pay it?
Because he says we had all these other debts, but yet
What other debt?
I've watched him add enough, like he keeps buying assets that he sits on. Trailers and blah blah and blah blah blah. I see all the art on their walls, I see all these things, and that's fine. I have money and I've spent it on things too.
Janelle took care of her household, Christine took care of her household, Robyn took care of her household, Mary took care of her household.
Janelle points out finally that she sees the art that's on their wall. She sees the things that Kody is buying, all of the assets that he is sitting on and spending money on so that he doesn't pay off any other properties, which then keeps Janelle tied to the family. He's intentionally hoarding money so that he doesn't have to buy her out, so that he can say he can't buy her out. It's a way to continue to keep her dependent upon him and then allow him to spend the money how he wants to spend it. It's the very first time she says, I see the art on their walls. And we've all been saying this for how long? How long? That they're obviously intentionally hoarding this money, obviously spending money so he doesn't have to give it to anyone else. And then he can say he doesn't have the money to give them and they don't have the money. When he does, he's just spending it so that he doesn't have to pay them back. He just doesn't have any regard for them whatsoever. He doesn't care that he's used their money. And he goes as far as to say that all of the women took care of their own homes and that he managed and took care of the cars and the car insurance of the kids, which is ridiculous. Like, not all the kids had cars. Many of them were driving used cars. Some of them bought their own cars, and he definitely wasn't paying for their car insurance. What he's doing here is flat out admitting that he was having children with women and he wasn't paying for them. Literally, he's admitting to be a deadbeat dad. He's admitting that he fathered children with Christine and Janelle and didn't pay for them, didn't pay for their housing, didn't help with the housing, didn't help with the bills, didn't help with the clothing, didn't help with any of it, didn't help with the food. He didn't help with the kids. But he bought them cars? I don't think so. If that's the extent of what a father is, he's really a crappy dad. Because dads are supposed to be the ones in a family. Like, if you're in this patriarchal family, like they claim they are, he's supposed to be the provider, and yet he wasn't providing anything. He basically admits he was a deadbeat dad.
Cody and Robyn shared everything. They shared the house payments, they shared the utilities, they shared everything.
I don't know how it worked at Robyn's house. I don't know. But I used to always be surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely finished, and there was always like stuff at her house, and I'm like, wow.
Kody and my money has always been separate up until Christine and Janelle chose and asked to be out of the family financially.
I believe Christine and Janelle when it comes to this, because Robyn's argument here makes zero sense. Robyn never worked. When she joined the family, they said that she was going to be a stay-at-home mom and that she was going to be there to help with the kids like Christine was, and that Kody was going to help support Robyn and Christine. That was what he said way back in the early interviews. He talked about this with Joy Bear in an interview. He spoke about this on that couch in the very first seasons about how Robyn was going to be a stay-at-home mom. Robyn didn't have a job. She never worked. She ran my sister wives' closet, which they all tried to do for a few years together. And Robyn's idea was so bad. The jewelry was so ugly and nobody wanted to buy it, and it was overpriced, and the market for it was not there. Robyn never had a job, a meaningful one in any capacity, and she has not operated My Sister Wives Closet since 2019. They have been living off of everyone else. Robyn has not had a job outside of anyone, outside of the show. So, what money did Robyn actually have? She was not supporting herself. She had a husband, a legal husband who was paying her bills, and she was using the money of everyone else's. And this is where she gets really ridiculous.
I used to be not so great with money when I was young. I had hard knocks. And I learned during my divorce really how to budget myself very, very well. You just must have had a different priority of where your money was going to go than I did. That's all.
This is the point where if they were in a room together, they would be fighting. And if they were not actually being interviewed by production, they would be yelling because Robyn's lying. She never learned how to budget anything. When they were buying the houses in Vegas, she admitted that she wasn't paying bills. She didn't have money to pay off creditors. She wasn't paying for her lighting or utilities. She came into the family with more than $30,000 worth of debt, of which some of it got settled by a credit counselor that helped them qualify for the house. And the rest of it was paid off by the family so that they could help Robyn buy her house in Las Vegas. She never learned how to budget. She was barely ever a single mom. She left Preston in 2007, in the end of 2007. They were divorced by 2008. She was married and with Kody by 2009. She wasn't learning how to budget. She had a silver spoon of show money and Kody giving her money and paying off her debts for her. And they all talked about it. Janelle talked about it. Janelle, when Robyn joined the family, was very angry because she had to absorb Robyn's debt and her 3 kids. Robyn brought nothing financially to this family. And so for now, Robyn to go back in time and say, you weren't prioritizing the money, what she meant to actually say was, I'm sorry you didn't have the money to buy a house, Janelle, because I was spending all of your money and you weren't able to prioritize the very small allowance that we gave you. And I'm sorry that you had to have your own job the whole time to pay for things. I'm sorry you couldn't work with the scraps that we gave you while we spent all of your money. I learned how to budget once you all paid off my debts. In fact, I've never actually learned how to budget because I've still been spending your money. She's never learned how to budget, ever. If she did, she wouldn't have the crap in her house that she has. She wouldn't have the $5,000 ring on one hand and a diamond ring on the other hand from Kody, or the art in their house, or the Tiffany's necklace that she's wearing, or the watches, the Rolex watches that she has, or the gold bracelets. It's such a lie. Janelle doesn't have any of that. And Janelle explains why the breakdown happened.
Like, he doesn't prioritize what I need or what I want, you know?
Yeah.
I think after a while, I began to see it, and my kids were getting very angry about it. Like, my adult children are like, what the hell?
There's a lot of misguided jealousy here, a lot of trash talk. Is it true? Well, some of it probably is, but most of it's not.
And here comes Kody in to gaslight and lie. I mean, you don't have to go far to see the disparities of the income and what was given to Robyn versus everyone else. Robyn's house is on the market right now, y'all, and it is filled to the brim with artwork, with amethyst geodes that are probably $10,000 a piece, with artwork that's prints. They're not actual like paintings. They're prints of Vladimir Kush that are like $10,000. He has got trailers and cars and RVs and all kinds of stuff in that house, statues and knickknacks that are super expensive, collections of knickknacks that are expensive, statues that are expensive. And he's trying to say that there's misguided jealousy when it's just him gaslighting and deflecting from the fact that all of this created a division in the family. When one wife is struggling to find housing and the other wife's house is filled to the brim with expensive art and amethyst geodes and statues and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crap and a bedroom set for a queen, and the other wife doesn't have a bedroom set and barely has a nightstand for Kody, it's the truth. And Cody and Robyn are just doing everything that they can to actually gaslight and lie about the situation. And it's even proof in this episode because Kody doesn't even have his own scene in this episode. Robyn has no scene. There is no filming of Robyn whatsoever outside of her responding to other people on the couch. They contribute nothing to this episode. So even today, it is Janelle and Christine carrying the family still.
Kody really did sort of kind of cut off communication with Caleb and Maddie when the family started to really dissolve. And the kids really don't know who he is. He's not been out to visit. He doesn't call. She just felt like until he can be consistent and show up and not be dramatic, that she feels like it's probably better if they don't know about him. And
To be honest with you, I didn't really cut off communications with Madison. She cut them off with me. Every time I talked to her, it was a fish for gossip. I got tired of it.
So while Maddie's younger siblings, Savannah, her little sister, is without a house and in an apartment or living in an RV, and dad is living in a 4,400 square foot home filled with hundreds of $1,000s worth of crap and can't help her little sister get a house, I'm sure Maddie got kind of frustrated. I'm sure Maddie got irritated watching her younger siblings be disrespected and degraded and harassed by their dad. And I'm sure she got pretty annoyed watching the way that Robyn was manipulating all of this behind the scenes. And so she and Kody don't communicate anymore because he is so unstable. And then he's like, I never cut her off. And then he's like, but I did cut her off because all she wanted to know was gossip. Kody wants to control information and he wants to be able to control what everyone thinks. And so now he's just not going to communicate with anyone and tell them anything so that they can't know anything about him. So he can just keep hiding what he's doing. It's gross. So Robyn is denying that she's spent the money of the family. Janelle's literally putting it all out and saying, this is what it was. This is where the money went, and I want my money back. And Robyn's like, we didn't spend your money. I was budgeting your money, and you didn't spend the allowance I gave you. Robyn still acts like a queen bee, and Cody's just lying about it all because the evidence is in their house. That's all you have to do is look at the listing, and I've showed you property listing photos. So if Kody and Robyn and Janelle were all in a room together, they would have had a huge fight, but they don't. So it's on a couch. And then later in the same episode, Janelle threatens to get a lawyer involved because at this point, she's owed money by Kody and Robyn. They're refusing to communicate with her. She has and sits down with Christine and basically tells Christine that Kody won't even call her. They don't even speak on the phone anymore. He's basically just gone MIA at this point. He doesn't respond to her or even allow her to tell him that it's over. Like, if she wants to have a final conversation with him, she can't because he won't let it happen. And he always has an excuse for why he can't talk. And then she wants her money, and Kody won't talk with her about Coyote Pass. He won't talk with her about buying her out. He won't talk with her about letting her move on. She wants her money. She wants her money from the house. She wants her money from Coyote Pass. She misunderstands something because she says that she has no legal standing when it comes to the property, but she does. Her name is on the parcels. She has every right to shared equity of the parcels that she is on at Coyote Pass. What she has no legal claim on is Cody's house, and Kody made it impossible for her to actually get that money because he refused to allow her to be on the mortgage. Janelle is and was on one of those UCC loans, the financing for the property. They had put money down, and then all the property that they had put money down on was collateral for the loans for the rest of the property. So they had to pay off all of it because they owned none of it, even though they owned some of it. The contract was really stupid, and I don't know why they even signed it, frankly. But Regardless, Kody intentionally says he's not going to tell her about what he's going to do, and it's none of her business when she's on the property. So Janelle says she's going to hire a lawyer in order to get her rightful share.
I think I'm going to have to lawyer up, because I think that's the only way I'm ever going to get any kind of decision out of him.
And you need to definitely get a lawyer involved.
I don't know what else to do. Because I really have no legal rights to make any kind of claim on Kody's property. Like, we're not legally married. I'm just calling a lawyer and saying I need to divorce this person. No, it's really complicated because there's no legal marriage.
Basically, what Kody's doing is he's dodging a creditor. He owes Janelle money, a lot of money. And so he is dodging her calls and refusing to see her, to have conversations with her so that he doesn't have to pay her back or have a conversation about paying her back. So instead of dealing with his responsibility, and he knows he doesn't have the money to do it, he's ignoring her. And then he admits in the same episode that he's not going to talk to her about it. And it's none of her business. Except it is her business. She's owed money. Now, here's what I don't know. There was no lawsuit filed by Janelle. Coyote Pass was paid off, although it's not divided. It's not sold, and they still jointly own it. I don't think Janelle has been paid off in any way. I don't think Janelle has been given a dime from Kody or Robyn. When Garrison passed away, I'm confident, or at least assume confidently, that she received his life insurance, because about a month later, she and Maddie purchased with cash property in North Carolina. I'm assuming she did not get paid back by Cody and Robyn. I'm also assuming that Cody and Robyn are selling that house because they have to, because they owe people money. I have a large assumptions here that I'm still trying to figure out if they're happening. And if Janelle did hire a lawyer, this could have all been done without going to court. They could have negotiated through attorneys. That happens all the time. So does she lawyer up, and does she get her fair share? That I don't know. But Cody and Robyn are dodging creditors, and it's clear based on their perception of things, they don't believe they owe her a dime. They live in an alternate reality where they had access to everyone else's money and don't believe they did anything wrong. Later today, we'll talk about Kody's reaction to his splits with Janelle and Mary and Cody's split with the church and going to the church for a release, and the revisiting of the division of the family, and Robyn and Kody forcing their daughters to again look like hostages to answer questions about their siblings and why they refused to speak with them, which was entirely gross, in my opinion. So what are your thoughts about this? Will she lawyer up? Has she lawyered up? Will she ever pay them off? And why are Robyn and Kody, why are they lying? Why are they hiding? Why are they dodging their creditor? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. And make sure to click the bell and turn on all of your notifications so you never miss a video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, everyone.